This is AKASHVANI, Bengaluru. Good evening and welcome to tonight's Yuvavani.
I'm your host, Avantika Bimuteret from Kerala, and I'm a student of St. Joseph's University pursuing sociology and journalism as my major. Today, we're diving deep into the topic that affects many young lives across India: sex education. Joining us in the studio today are three of my fellow classmates who have researched on the field to shed light on these issues regarding sex education and the stigma and laws surrounding it. Let's get started. To kick things off, let's talk about the prevalence of sex education in India. Passing this conversation on to my team.
Hello Avantika, I'm Shivangi Singh from Darjeeling, pursuing journalism and sociology at St. Joseph's University. Firstly, I'll be starting off with the current scenario. Unfortunately, sex education in our country is treated as a subject that does not exist. It is also observed that the teachers themselves are shy and uncomfortable teaching sex education.
And Shivangi, what do you think is the reason behind it?
Good question, Avantika. One prominent reason behind this is that sometimes the teachers themselves do not have the right vocabulary to talk about these issues due to a lack of adequate teaching material and training on the subject. That is the reason why these topics are often skipped or taught to girls in isolation when boys are not around.
So, do you think lack of education is also one of those reasons?
Yes, absolutely, Avantika. Lack of comprehensive sex education leaves young people ill prepared to make informed decisions about their sexual health, leading to issues such as unplanned pregnancies, unsafe abortions, and the spread of STI. The shame and the stigma around menstruation are so prevalent that the girls are not allowed to touch anyone in their house during their periods and are asked to isolate themselves from the rest of their family members.
I wish attempts were made to break this stereotype among students. Making them understand the biological reason behind why periods occur is important. Showing them videos on menstruation will make them understand what goes on inside a woman's body during those 5 to 7 days of menstrual cycle. Oh, I'd like my friend Aisha to talk about this from a more medical perspective and express what her point of view is.
Thank you, Avantika, for passing this on to me. Hello, everyone. I'm Aisha De, and I've come from Assam all the way to Bangalore to pursue my degree in sociology and journalism at St. Joseph University. I have researched about sex education from a more medical point of view, and in today's episode, we're tackling a topic that's often surrounded by stigma and misinformation: abortion. I believe that due to lack of awareness about sex education, people stick to stereotypical thoughts and have misconceptions about pregnancy and abortion, which is what I'll be focusing on.
Okay, so Aisha, a question which I've always had in my mind was, how do doctors decide whether to proceed with an abortion or not?
Well, doctors primarily look to autonomy and beneficence in the context of doing good for the patient. That might mean upholding that person's choice not to proceed with what is still a very dangerous proposition, namely carrying a pregnancy to term and delivering. If someone says to them, I'm pregnant and do not wish to be pregnant for a multitude of reasons, doctors support that decision because the alternative of carrying to term is risky. Medical professionals want to protect that person's bodily autonomy. From a reproductive justice standpoint, they want to support persons who have a womb in making decisions about when they wish to have a family, how they want that to look, whether they want to have a family at all, in expressing their sexuality, and in all different kinds of things.
So, Aisha, are you trying to say that induced abortion is essential for a woman?
Yes, Shivangi, I do believe that induced abortion is an essential component of women's healthcare. Like all medical matters, decisions regarding abortion should be made by patients in consultation with their healthcare providers and without undue interference by outside parties. Like all patients, women obtaining abortion are entitled to privacy, dignity, respect, and support.
Another question that is often asked is, are there programs which teach sex education in the education sector?
I would like to answer your question, Avantika. Hello, everyone. My name is Priyadarshini Chhatri from Darjeeling. I'm a second year student pursuing journalism and sociology in St. Joseph University. Firstly, even though India has not mandated any form of sexuality education through a specific policy or program till date, NCRT's Adolescence Education Program and the School Health Program under Aishman Bharat are two national level programs that are active and include a curriculum based intervention around adolescents' health issues.
So, Priyadarshini, what are the government's initiatives in this area?
The AEP was launched in 2005 by MHRD, now MOE, in an attempt to harmonize all the different government initiatives related to adolescents' education in the country. Popularly considers India's first attempt at creating a national level sex ed program. AEP's objectives are to AEP's objectives are to provide adolescents with age appropriate, accurate, and culturally relevant information in order to help them develop healthy attitudes.
That does answer it, but do you think these programs are being implemented by the government?
Various state and federal departments of education and health in India, in collaboration with civil society organizations, are putting various AEP variants into practice, making the school system more receptive to the wants and worries of teenagers and co creating schools as more dynamic and encouraging learning environment are important goals for many of these programs. A significant portion of this program, which target adolescents between the age of 14 and 15, involve teacher preparation and classroom based activities.
Now, as I recall Shivangi mentioning how talking about sex education is embarrassing to many, what do you think people see it as? What do you think is the importance of sex education is?
Firstly, it increases awareness and knowledge as a focused, comprehensive sexual education study during adolescence helps students gain accurate information of the bodily changes that occur in different phases of our life. It helps them understand puberty, menstruation, sexual and reproductive health rights, and contraception.
Oh, I also feel it greatly contributes to the reduction of health risks as it helps them understand sexually transmitted infections and being responsible for their actions. It would help them make informed decisions about their sexual and reproductive health rights, don't you think?
Yes, I agree with you, Avantika. It also helps in creating a safe space because conversations and discussions in a classroom can promote the value of being compassionate, curious, and accepting. Comprehensive sexual education can teach about consent, healthy relationships, and acceptance, fostering an environment of understanding.
I would like to raise a question for Aisha. What influences a woman's decision to abort a child?
There are many factors that influences or necessitates a woman's decision to have an abortion, Priyadarshini. They include, but are not limited to, contraceptive failure, barriers to contraceptive use and access, rape, incest, intimate partner violence, fetal anomalies, illness during pregnancy, and exposure to teratogenic medications. Pregnancy complications including placental abruption, bleeding from placenta previa, preeclampsia or eclampsia, and cardiac or renal conditions may be so severe that abortion is the only measure to preserve a woman's health or save her life. It is also important to know that where abortion is illegal or highly restricted, women resort to unsafe means to end unwanted pregnancies, including self inflicted abdominal and bodily trauma, ingestion of dangerous chemicals, self medication with a variety of drugs, and reliance on unqualified abortion providers. Today, approximately 21 million women around the world obtain unsafe, illegal abortions each year, and complications from these unsafe procedures account for approximately 13% of all maternal deaths, nearly 50,000 annually. I hope that answers your question.
Oh, that was very factual, Aisha. I recall Priyadarshini mentioning certain programs. My question is, are these programs being implemented?
Indeed, Shivangi. More recently, the 5HP, which targets a wider age range of adolescents in the classes of 6 to 12 across all government schools in the nation, was launched in 2018 as a combined effort between MOHFW and MOL under Aishman Bharat. The curriculum based program was formally launched in 2020 and is intended to be implemented by teachers. It covers 11 priority themes of adolescents' health. It is envisioned as an educational initiative that builds on experiences of young people to enhance their health and support their overall development, enable them respond to real life situations effectively. Hopefully, I answered your question.
That was a very intriguing discussion. Now, I would like to do a general trivia round here, which would answer a few questions people commonly ask. So, Shivangi, my question to you is, who needs to be satisfied that the medical conditions have been fulfilled to get an abortion?
I would like to answer this in brief. According to the Medical Termination of Pregnancy Amendment Act of 2021, if the pregnancy has not exceeded 20 weeks, only one doctor needs to be satisfied that the conditions have been fulfilled. If the pregnancy has exceeded 20 weeks and is below 24 weeks, two doctors needs to be satisfied that the conditions have been fulfilled. However, the gestation period does not matter if the doctor feels that an immediate abortion must be conducted to save your life. The doctor who determines if it is necessary to perform an abortion and performs it needs to be a registered medical practitioner under the law.
As we are discussing about abortion, I would like to ask Aisha if someone can get an abortion because the sex of the fetus is female.
No, Priyadarshini, it is a crime to get an abortion because you or your family do not want to get a girl child. If you get an abortion after you come to know the sex of the fetus, as per Section 312 IPC 1860, you can be punished with jail time of up to 3 or 7 years depending on the stage of the pregnancy. However, please remember that an abortion is otherwise legal. It is abortion which follows sex determination that is unlawful.
If I may interrupt, Aisha, are there any laws which prohibit prenatal diagnostic technique?
Firstly, I hope that you know it is a crime to conduct any kind of test, even an ultrasound, to check the sex of your fetus, under another law called the Preconception and Prenatal Diagnostic Techniques Act 1994. Any procedure or technique performed on a man or woman for the purpose of sex selection is illegal.
Thank you for your answer, Aisha. That was informative. One more question. Who will get punished for doing abortion?
Punishment is highly implemented here. Any procedure or technique performed on a woman for the purpose of sex determination is illegal. Both you and your doctor can be punished for conducting a diagnostic test to figure out the sex of the child. You are only allowed to get such tests or procedures in order to detect certain abnormalities of the fetus, or if you are above 35 years of age, or if you suffer from certain health specific problems.
If a person dies during abortion, is this also considered illegal?
Thank you for asking, Shivangi. It is not illegal, but under Section 314 IPC 1860, if the woman dies due to miscarriage done without her consent, then there is a punishment of imprisonment or for a term which may exceed to 10 years or fine.
Thank you, Priyadarshini. And that brings us to the end of our panel discussion on sex education.
Before we sign off, I want to express my gratitude to our listeners for tuning in and engaging with us today. Your participation is what makes these discussions meaningful.
In closing, remember that knowledge is power when it comes to sexual health. Respect yourself and others, communicate openly, and always prioritize safety and consent. Let's continue to promote understanding and well being in our communities. Thank you once again to our panelists and thank you to our listeners for joining us. This is Avantika signing off. Until next time, take care and stay informed.
This program was brought to you by AKASHVANI, Bengaluru.